Hi, everyone. And I want to start with, I actually really love listening to people when they live and breathe the topics they speak about. That was the previous speakers. And this is not the case with my speech today, because I speak about the future. And future is something we all do not know about. Still, it is interesting. Firstly, because it's exciting and we need no reasons for that. And secondly, we will live in the future and we want to stay relevant in the future. And for that reason, we want to have a relevant skill set. And if we are leaders, we want to direct our companies towards somewhere more effective, more optimal, more customer satisfying, and generating more revenue. So altogether, I think we have the same wish to be relevant tomorrow, and this is more or less what the presentation is about. So there is enormous amounts of data, and there is many ways to generate or to transmit the data, but as I am coming from telecommunications sector, I would like to highlight one of those ways, which is mobility networks. And it is said that with fifth generation, we are able to transmit 4 times more data compared to altogether what we were able to do from 2G to 4G, because first G was analog, no data there. So amounts of data are enormous, they are getting bigger because it's not only us humans generating the data, it's also things generating the data in IoT, and we can do more and more with data. Therefore, we need some technologies to cope with it. Speaking about the data, it actually leads also to our lifestyle changes. And when we see the company's logos on the screen, I think that we are very pleased that Netflix shows us which movie we would like to watch next, or what we want to buy also on Amazon, which is also good for Amazon, If I'm speaking about my wearable, actually I do not track a lot. My steps, sleep, some sports, so not many. But if you live in the USA, you most probably know that you are also able to track your serious health issues. So if I fell down suddenly during this presentation, and if I'm in USA, the ambulance would be called, So the data and technology, the devices, is also helping us to live. When things, technologies, robotized processes are entering into human world, we are naturally starting to think that obvious question, so will robots take over the world? And I had a chance to ask this question to Steven Polman, who is neurology professor in the Netherlands, and Steven agreed me to quote him. So his answer was this. You know, Asta, I don't think your children will ask it, but your grandchildren will definitely ask a chip as a birthday present to be ingested into their bodies simply for their performance. So we are kind of going into biohacking ourselves, We are now afraid of things which are outside the body, but we are coming to the times where it will probably be inside our bodies. So the straightforward answer of Steven Polman was not robots, cyborgs will take over the world, and most probably we will be those cyborgs. So, the interesting part of this presentation, the trends. I call it big name, 8 big trends. But you most probably agree with me that it's really difficult to stand in the shoes of the forecaster, because We simply don't know, yeah? Something is booming today, and a disclaimer, I do not include generative AI in the trends I'm telling about, because it's there already. I'm speaking about some technologies which are maybe just a step behind and it's waiting for us. So I grouped the information I found into 3 areas. As we have a lot of data, of course, we need machines, we need more power, more technologies to cope with these amounts of data. So this is the technology advancement group. Secondly, it's ethics and human centricity. So if we are speaking about robots and cyborgs, of course, we need to train those machines not only to act by script, yeah, but also to respect human values, also to know this part of our life. And last but not least, we by now know that if we bring diversity where we act, the things gets better. So this is what the last group is about, interdisciplinary integrations. Let's start with first, technology advancement. Trend number 1, quantum computing, which is about to bring the revolution in speed. So our traditional computers are machines which acts in a kind of a linear sequence as we program them, because the smallest piece there is bit, which can only be binary, either 0 or 1, so only 2 positions. The difference in quantum computing, which brings the idea from quantum physics or quantum mechanics specifically, is that the smallest piece is cubic, and cubic can be in multiple position, and that's why it's called superposition. And this is exactly what brings revolution in speed. Sounds fantastic. Of course, there are drawbacks as everywhere. So firstly, quantum computers are huge and very, very noisy. So if you see a quantum computer somewhere on the internet, it's usually in a cupboard, usually glass one, and this is to isolate a lot of noise. Secondly, the error margin is still quite high. And last but not least, it's expensive. You can buy a quantum computer. There is a Finnish company making those and selling, and it costs 1 million. Yeah? Affordable for some business. So there are companies already using those. IBM uses quantum computing for pattern recognition. Google uses it for testing. The Finnish company I have mentioned, they say that they sell this product to academic institutions, universities. And for me, it's mainly the answer that maybe yet there is no market for this, but it's actually expected to boom and bring a lot of benefits for us. Second one, federated learning. So we know that when we want to train the model, we need a lot of good, trusted data in one place so we can train the model. But a lot of data in one place comes to a problem of where to get the data from. And if somebody is sharing us the data, we come to the data privacy problem. So federated learning is the technology where we are able to train the same model using different data, which are decentralized, which are stored in different places and acting via nodes. So model is trained locally, and only insights are being given back to the model. And this is how we collect the benefit, and we do not compromise the data security and privacy things. This is especially relevant in health sector, and it's actually maybe mostly being tested there. Therefore, Of course, in order to run federated learning models, you need to have really good and trusted nodes and trusted clients who are testing your model and the insights they are given back. So you are sure that these are making your model better. The third one, real-time continuous intelligence. So 21st century, of course, a lot of real-time things are happening already, but still a lot of things are being done in a very linear way. We collect the data, we do some calculations and modeling, we are giving the results to the back office teams, and then back office teams implements some changes in customer-facing processes. Yeah, so still a lot of is happening this way, but what we need and what we expect is that everything happens at a click of the button, and if a customer comes into a sales point, but he or she previously scrolled the mobile phone looking at specific products, so maybe this is a very good message to the salespersons what the customer is about. Yeah, so the augmentation of our daily processes with the real-time data is something which we also expect to benefit soon. And the very actual example of recent would be maybe electricity prices. Yeah, this is where we are able, using real-time engines, to select which electricity source for which price we want to use. And the last one, the fourth one in technology section is automated machine learning, and this mainly relates to the no-code things, yeah? So data is booming, technologies is booming. If you're working in big company, usually you have huge data teams which are doing these beneficial things, but also smaller companies or family businesses, they want these positive effects. And even though they do not have the technical skill set, they can also use or utilize rather sophisticated things as machine learning if they use their automated functionality. So in Telia, we use Click. This is the business intelligence software, something as Power BI or Tableau. So we use Click, and Click already has this auto ML functionality, which we are about to test, not tested yet. So these were 4 technological trends, and now I want to move into the ethical part. And to start with, I want to recall your memories for rather recent Santa Barbara of the technical world, when Sam Altman was fired from OpenAI. Yeah, very big deal. I don't recall, October or November somewhat, and he was fired. When he was back, and there were a lot of speculations what actually happened. And one explanation I really liked, I'm not sure if this is correct or not, they grouped in 2. So part of the people, and maybe Sam had this position, said that the generative AI they have created is not yet tested enough to let it go and be implemented everywhere. So he said that maybe let's work more on it. Let's create educational, more scientific product. While the other said, let's go commercial lane full speed. And this is the exact ethical problem we are having. So do we want to list and to mitigate every risk we already know of generative AI before we release it into our lives? Similar situation is actually happening now. Mira Murati, CTO of OpenAI, was recently interviewed related to the new product Sora. And Sora is text to video artificial intelligence. And the journalist asks, so you most probably need a lot of video data to be able to generate this video content. Where from do you get the data? And Murati says, we use openly available information. Journalist, does it mean that you use everything what's on YouTube? I don't know, I would need to check. I just know that we utilize what's openly available. But the smart journalist does not give up. She asks, does that also mean that you use the Facebook video information? So everything we all post video information around. And the Murati is again saying, I'm not sure. I know that we are using what's openly available. So this is the ethical dilemma, I think, shown very in a nowadays example. So which information can and should be used in artificial intelligence? The first trend on this side is explainable AI. And this is coming for, we say yes to robotics, to artificial intelligence. We want all these benefits. Though, we want the risks mitigated. This is exactly what explainable AI is doing. So let's take example in the health sector. So Google has this product called DeepMind for eye diseases. We do not need very senior and a lot of experience having doctors, because AI is able to analyze a lot of historical and also contextual information about the patient and the latest treatments, compare it to some other similar results, and give it to the doctor. It might be this or that, the disease might be this, the prescription could be that, and the decisions, the final decisions, are taken by the human. So in those situations, we, I think, would feel much more safe, because we are still in human hands, but with a lot of help from explainable AI. Other similar products are IBM Watson Tutor, which gives indications to the students what specifically you need to learn to boom on your strengths and to overcome your weaknesses. So kind of pointing to the things which are the most relevant instead of going from first to the last page. The other trend in this is human-centered AI, and this is about human values. So the examples I found, it's being utilized in manufacturing, for example. So if you have a huge manufacturing lane, and if some sensors identify the unexpected human movements, so all the line is stopped, because the serious human injury might happen. Yeah, so we know what is the most important, and we act accordingly. This is the example of human-centered AI. And it seems that we can replicate a lot of what is inside us as humans. And maybe I found one thing which is said is not yet possible to replicate with robotics or artificial intelligence, and that thing is humor. Because humor, jokes, it needs a lot of context. So you can learn, you can teach the AI to tell jokes, but it does not necessarily know the context in which. One more in ethical side is data generation. So I touched upon health sector related examples quite a lot today, and this is about it, yeah? We need advancements in the very sensitive sectors like health, like cybersecurity, but in some situations we simply do not have enough information. So by now we already have some tools. For example, Massachusetts Institute of Technology has a synthetic data vault, which is able from rather small amounts of real data, generate bigger data sets, which would be suitable for teaching the AI, for teaching the machine learning, and it does not loses the significant statistical functionalities parameters, so it's still relevant. The other example is the open source tool called Syntheia, and they specialize in health sector mainly and generate health data. So here we come into interdisciplinary integration section, the last one. And here I have the only one, if I recall correctly, the collaboration between disciplines. If we are working in big companies, we are usually working in functions, yeah? So technical people with technical people. And I mentioned the keyword diversity already. So magical things can happen if we bring to one place biologists, sociologists, psychologists, artists. Art is very important actually near technology and data people, because art is what helps us to create the virtual reality. So this is about this trend that more and more of interdisciplinary integrations should happen in order to have better results. So all in all, I want to highlight that that was not an educational presentation. You can find all this information online. You can group it in some other different ways. This was just my imagination, how to provide it to you and to inspire you. And the inspiration comes for CV of our tomorrows. I don't know which keywords of what I mentioned today will be relevant for us, but what I mainly want to say is watch out what you are doing today, what on you spend most of your time, and be sure that you have interest in new things, in what's happening. Try it yourself, and maybe, not maybe, surely some of these keywords like quantum analytics, ethical AI, integrations between unexpected disciplines will appear on your CV. So my final word, not a new quotation, data is the new oil, and it's valuable and only valuable when it is refined. So we, the big audience here, are the ones who are refining this data. Hopefully you find some inspiration here how to progress with it. Thank you.